gender misconforming issues for a very long time. And it's gotten worse as social media has exploded around the world, and that's people, the pandemic has made people more in communication now than ever. So now people really feel free, they feel like they can just be free to say anything because of social media, and because they're not working at the bars that they work at, they don't see you as often, so then they don't have to be accountable for their actions right away, because they know that by the time we get out of this pandemic, they think you will be and forgot what has transpired within the social media world, because information is like this now. We're bombarded with so much noise that one story mutes the next story. You know what I mean? But for some reason, we keep going back to the transphobia and the bullying. So it is a real issue for us. And I thank you for speaking up, because, sometimes we just have to say it the way it is.
Yeah, and really what this is all about, if you get down to the psychological end of it, it's probably these people have some issues with themselves, and they're lashing out because they want to feel better about themselves by putting other people down or whatever. I understand the anger of what of some of the things was said, and this particular person has also used the N-word, has also made racist rants, and the national hamburger chain that hired her. Okay, say I didn't say the name, but we all know what I mean. Didn't make a public apology for her behavior, and was not quick to remove her. You make a mistake, you own up to it. You know, and I'm beginning to believe that particular hamburger chain really doesn't give a damn about the gay community at all. I think they're out there to make a quick buck, and that's my opinion, and my opinion only. But you told me to keep it real.
Well, we know a lot of straight businesses, and even our own entrepreneurs or promoters in our community, has exploited us forever. And so they're all out just to make a fast dollar, and they really could care less about the gay community or about any of the real issues in the gay community. They just care about what they can put in their pockets as quickly as possible. Now, this trans man, did he go in defense of himself?
He went on, and actually he did a very classy thing, and he said that please do not argue for me that this person needs love. This person has no love in their heart and need to find it. He took the high road, and that's what made me think, because he's the one that brought up the fact that we need to educate. And it was just a beautiful thing, and it really kind of all started with a questionable pageant that you know how pageants are.
I know how pageants are, and it's
scores change, and they make a mistake, they added it wrong, and then everybody's like rigged. I don't, everybody relax. Okay. Relax,
Russell, it's great to see that trans men now are standing up for themselves. I see them all over social media talking about their surgeries now, talking more open and candidly about how they really feel and what the real issues of the misgendering, how it's affecting them. So I think that the conversation has started. It needs to be our community, the gay community, it's very difficult for them to understand trans men, because first place, they really don't like lesbians in the first place, and they just consider they would never consider trans men because they have such a hatred for lesbians or women who identify as either studs or they're masculine and all this kind of stuff. I don't know why that is. I think because um, trans men and lesbians, or is it okay? I think it's okay to say lesbians. I think because they show a strong male presence. They show something that a lot of the gay men in our community don't show. Because when I'm trying to say this the right way, because a lot of it comes from a lot of gay men in our community are considered bottoms. Bottoms are considered feminine. So I think that when they're t- talking to, you know, the community in a sense, or acting out in a sense, it's sort of from that perspective of how they feel about themselves. Because we know 75% of most gay men are not the most masculine. And when a woman who identifies as a trans man steps in to say, well, you know, this is how I identify, and they have the courage to say, I'm a man, I feel like a man. And most gay men have a problem even identifying as gay. We're all now talking about and expressing, I'm gay, or I see all different kinds of things people talking about. I'm HIV positive now. I'm gay. These are things that people didn't talk about before. I'm a bottom and stuff. And I think that you have started the conversation with the transphobia and the bullying, and I hear a lot of it, so I know that we're talking a little bit about it. What do you think we need to do about educating the community? What do you think we need to do?
I think for the most part, um,
Sorry about my rant.
that's okay. We all have them. I had one the other day.
Oh,
For one, I think that the gay men need to fully understand and appreciate all the sacrifices that lesbians have made for our rights.
mhm,
Because for the most part, um, lesbians and actually women, trans people of color, have are the reason that we have our rights.
mhm,
And we don't know enough about our history. For one, two, we got to get over the stigma. I'm in Polk County, and most uneducated straight people always view gay men as weak.
mhm,
Um, and I that may have something to do with it. It's perceptions of ourselves. The beauty thing about Pride is for a week, oh, we're all united, we're all together, blah, 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 blah. And when the parade goes away and the banners go down, then the separation begins again.
mhm,
And we in order for us to be accepted in the world, we need to be accepted. We need to be accepting of one another and set the example of tolerance. We can't
mhm,
teach tolerance to other people if we are not showing that example. So, in order to stop the bullying, we need to stop within our own community and say, hey, this isn't right. Okay. I
mhm,
have two drag sons that are both trans men. Okay. I admit that I still have a lot to learn,
mhm,
but you need to um, talk to some trans men, get to understand where they're at. I have supported cut the boobies off pageants, or fundraisers so that trans men can lose their boobies.
mhm.
Um,
Well, I actually have a few coming up in season two, a few trans men sharing their stories. I've already filmed them. They're quite interesting. And you know, we have to be thankful because before trans men were trans men, they were women. They identified as women. So a lot of us here on this planet would not be here if it wasn't for the women who birthed us.
yes.
So we need to understand that the women. are the creators of life,
Yeah.
with the help of men. But they're the ones that go through the pain of delivering us on this planet. And sometimes when women change what we think of as norm, because trans men were not very visible for a long time. We just considered them lesbians and they were butch.
That's
Now
Butch.
now they're being themselves and identifying as men and born this way and taking steps to be who they are. I think
It's a
society,
wonderful thing.
yeah, it is a wonderful thing. It really, it's wonderful,
It's a
and
wonderful thing.
it's
Everybody can do that.